Could this compromise be the beginning of the end of the 17-month investigation? Avery Friedman, a civil rights attorney and law professor, is joining us from Cleveland. Good to see you.
See you.
And criminal defense attorney Richard Herman joins us from Las Vegas. Good to see you as well. Okay,
Hi, Fred.
Hello. So Richard, there's been a real evolution here in, the questions and what answers would come. The president has said, I'd be glad to be interviewed. And then, of course, his attorneys have publicly said, no way. So now you've got the written form. But is there, a view that these are ever going to be the words of the president, or will they simply be, the responses coming from the attorneys? And could the president still potentially be subpoenaed, or will whatever the answers are suffice?
That's a great question, Fred.
You bet.
Actually,
yeah.
the answers will be prepared by his lawyers. He's not going to prepare any of these answers. They're going to be reviewed, gone over 100 times, and then perhaps the president will sign. Maybe he won't under oath. They may not even hand in these questions and answers. Only 15, Fred, and the sole area inquiry is on collusion, conspiracy with Russia. That's it. And Giuliani, who has completely lost his mind, did make one coherent statement the other day when he said that he said Mueller knows the answers to every one of these questions. Don't forget, they've already debriefed Michael Flynn, Manafort, and Michael Cohen. So they know what they're setting him up, Fred. And the attorneys know that, though. So
his attorneys know that. So there would be, they'd be so careful, would they not, about language, word choice, all that.
That's why the whole thing's a farce. It's a complete farce. Mueller should just throw a subpoena on him. The president will ignore it. It'll be a constitutional crisis. It'll go to the Supreme Court, and Kavanaugh will give the swing vote to protect the president. That's how it's going to play out. This is a farce right now, Fred. These written my clients would love to respond to limited questions in limited areas when they're being federally, criminally investigated for conspiracy. It's absurd, Fred. The whole process is completely absurd.
So then what, Richard, is the value of these answers if they feel like it's not going to be representative of the president? This wouldn't... the attorneys are going to be mindful of making sure he doesn't perjure himself by way of these written responses. So what's the value here?
I think, objectively speaking, Fred, zero value. I think it shows the good faith of the Mueller team trying to work with the president, but ultimately it's only going to be the responses prepared by the attorneys, not Trump. And although Trump boasts, I'd love to sit down and give him an interview, don't forget his personal counsel, John Dowd, who's been at a few rodeos, basically quit.
Did he mean it? Because he said after he... Okay, so quickly, Richard.
No, Fred.
No, okay, you disagree. What? With what?
It's not a perjury trap. It's not a perjury trap if you tell the truth.
There's no perjury trap.
That's what he said.
Okay,
if you lie, then it's a perjury trap. Right.
Okay, so then, Richard, is that we're at this phase of a written questions and written responses. Does this mean that we're at the end of this investigation?
I thought it would go on much longer, Fred, but I do think Mueller is closing in now. I think he has obstruction locked up, and I think right now he's working on the collusion conspiracy aspect between the Trump administration, Trump campaign, and Russia, and I think that's the final piece of the puzzle. I think he's getting close to the end, and you always end with the big fish, and that's where he's going for the president right now, Fred.
Okay, that's both a yes and a no. There you go. All right, Avery Friedman, Richard Herman, both so clever all the time. Thank you so much. Great to see you.